think one of the reasons why I have been so successful is that I am really good at branding. I really understand my brand and I really understand the audience that I'm trying to target. That is really important and something that I don't see talked about a lot in the adult industry space, but you do have to treat this like a business, like a legit brand, like a physical company, even though you are the product. I am Valentina Fox. I have been in the adult industry for 7.5 years now. I am a Findom and Femdom content creator and a clip producer. Obviously, the first thing to think about when you're trying to create a new brand in this industry is a name. Who are you going to be? Who is she? Specifically in the Findom niche, there are a lot of creators that prefer to do things and title themselves like goddess blank, princess blank. I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with this, but I definitely did take a different approach choosing the name Valentina Fox. It kind of sounds more like a corn star name, but I like that it gives me flexibility. I have lots of friends and see very successful doms who do go the princess or goddess route. I'm just saying that I personally went a different route. You want to create a legit persona for your brand. I got out a piece of paper and I spent a lot of time thinking about this. Who is Valentina Fox? That has developed a lot over the years and it has changed at different points of my career, which is always okay too, because your brand will evolve as you do. I think it's really important to think of a name that you're trying to embody. Valentina Fox is a very powerful, sensual name, and I think that really embodies my brand. If you want to be more playful, more sweet, more sadistic, you know, you could go Goddess Pain. I think you should always look up any potential names to see if they've been taken already. It's not an absolute no if you see that there is another adult worker with your same name. There is another Valentina Fox in the industry. I think now there's more than one. Obviously, you're not going to want to take the name of like a really big star. Yeah, you might be searched a lot, but they're not going to be looking for you. So you want a unique name, but it's important to ask yourselves questions about who this person is. So for me, I asked, who is Valentina? She's bratty. She's demanding. She's controlling. What does she like? She likes luxury. She likes expensive trips. She likes going to Michelin star restaurants. I definitely did brand more luxury because those are my personal interests. But there are lots of doms. You can go totally different directions with this. You know, you could be girl next door kind of girl. You could be an outdoorsy kind of girl. There are doms that are doming from their van that they're traveling the country in. There's no one aesthetic for this industry. Because when I first entered the dom space, I thought that you had to be like in leather and latex with whips and chains all the times to be taken seriously as a dom. It is an older way of thinking. And I think maybe pro doms feel that way, but the online space is so different and there are so many different unique brands of doms that you really can even just create your own lane. I would advise to have some separation between your actual personality and your dom persona. Valentina is a lot of who I am. When I was creating Valentina, I was looking inside myself. What do I actually like? What are some traits about me? I am a very naturally commanding person. Like, I speak with conviction. I'm very good at convincing people. I end up being the leader in a lot of situations. I am just a naturally dominant presence. For me, leaning into it wasn't that hard, and I am kind of bratty sometimes, and I can be kind of selfish. I think we all have those bits to our personality. So for me, it was about taking parts of my personality that are real and blowing them up for Valentina. And there are parts of my personality that I have chosen to leave out of Valentina. You know, I am, in my personal life, very kind, very empathetic. I love animals. I want to help people. But that does not work with my brand as Valentina, and that's not the type of dynamic that I want to have with my subs, so that's not the brand that I created. Because when you're creating your brand, you want to think about the type of sub that you're going to attract. And some of that is going to be out of your control. You know, your looks are out of your control. Obviously, I chose to get a lot of tattoos. That was in my control at some point, but now the way I look is not in my control. I am covered in tattoos, and that is off-putting for some clients. I don't get a lot of older subs. Most of my subs are under 40. Part of that is the amount of tattoos that I have. And I see, you know, girls that have kind of a 70s style with like the big poofy hair, like Farrah Fawcett kind of blowout, and no tattoos, and thin with large natural breasts. That was a very popular look back in the 70s. Those types of girls tend to attract a lot of older clients because those older clients are looking at those women who look like the women that they were attracted to in their youth. There is a lot of thought that needs to go into your branding, who you are as a dom, and the type of audience that you want to attract. I branded myself more luxury. There are a lot of doms who brand themselves as more girl next door. Obviously, you will get more people who can afford the girl next door if there is a price difference between that and a luxury dom. A luxury dom is going to have less clients, but they'll probably be paying more. I know that, like, when I say that, like, probably most of you, if you haven't started this at all, are gonna say, well, yeah, duh, I want to brand as luxury. Yeah, duh, I want to brand as the expensive stuff. I want expensive stuff. Totally real. But you also need to think about what kind of lifestyle you're currently at. If you are living in a not nice place with not good lighting, not nice furniture, you don't have money to really spend on clothing or lighting or camera equipment, and you're going to have lower quality content, you need to ask yourself honestly if you're going to be able to fit into the luxury niche where girls are filming in penthouses with expensive lingerie and expensive furniture and expensive shoes. And I do think there is a level that you can fake it till you make it in this industry. But I also think it's really important to be realistic about where you are now and how that looks optically to people who are consuming your content and the type of people that you might attract. If you don't live in a very nice apartment, a lot of men might actually prefer that. They might see you as more relatable and want to talk to someone who's more aligned with where they're at in their life. And you know, that's why I'm saying there's really no right way to do this. It's all about who you are and what you want your brand to be. And what's not gonna leave you burned out. It can also really burn you out if you are not a luxury girly and you're trying to pretend to be something that you're not all the time. It can become really exhausting. So you do want to integrate bits of yourself into this brand, but I do think, like I said, it's important to not put your whole personality into your brand. You want to have some separation between your brand and yourself so that you can protect yourself, you can protect your personal life, your personal interests, you know, I think that there is a benefit to having a bit of separation between who you are as a dom and who you are in your personal life. Newer doms coming into the industry think that you have to be really mean all the time or you have to be really stoic. The way that a professional dominatrix, the way that when you think in your mind a dominatrix in a dungeon, the way she's strict and stern and the way she holds herself, you don't have to be like that to be a successful dom. You don't have to be like anything. My dom style is much more playful, much more mean girlfriend, sensual teasing. I do joke around with my subs all the time, and you know, I do tell stories from my personal life when I feel comfortable doing so. And there's nothing not dominant about being a nice person. I have had some kind of weird meetups with other doms in person that it felt like they were trying to like push this persona onto me and like prove to me that they're super dominant all the time or have been rude to servers or just rude to random people out in public. And I just don't see anything dominant about that. I think it's just rude. I don't think to be dominant and to be rude are in the same ballpark at all. Once you have your name established and once you've thought a little bit about who you want to be, what kind of audience do you want to attract, the next thing that I would advise is making yourself a logo. I paid someone to make this logo, so it's a photo of my lips. I don't see very many NSFW creators with their own logo. This is such a noticeable, recognizable thing that is in all of my content. Every single one of my clips has a small watermark in the bottom corner that has that logo in it. Because something I can promise you right now, no matter what site you post on, no matter how expensive you make your clips, your content will be stolen. It is an unfortunate but inevitable part of this industry. And it's probably gonna end up on a bunch of random weird tube sites that you've never heard of, and they're probably not gonna put your name. they're gonna just post the video and say, tatted brunette girl doms you. And I see this all the time with my videos, and I look at these sites and I will see my video has 8,000 views on this website, probably a bunch of purchases. Now, none of those people would know what my name was if I didn't have my logo in every single video. So every single one of those stolen sites is promoting me. And obviously, you know, the majority of those people who are going that hard to look for stolen sites and go on those janky websites that are putting your computer at risk for viruses don't really care that much about paying. And those are people who are going out of their way to consume and steal content. So I never really sweat too much about that I'm losing clients or losing money to those things, because I don't think those types of people would have ever spent money on me to begin with. But sometimes there are people on those sites who would. And I have had quite a few subs find me over the years from stolen sites, and they tell me, you know, I saw your content on a stolen site, I loved it, I wanted to find you, I wanted to talk to you, I wanted to pay you. And that does happen. And the only reason that they were able to track me down is because I had this on every single one of my videos. I do see some DOMs that instead of doing like a logo or something, they'll just put their website in the bottom corner, or they'll put one of their clip sites linked in the bottom corner. I do not recommend doing that, because most of us in this industry post our videos across multiple platforms. I generally post on 4 or 5 platforms when I'm posting a clip. And most of those sites have in their TOS that you cannot promote or link to other websites. So even if you're linking to your own personal site, my own personal site is ineedvalentina.com. ineedvalentina.com has links to every single one of my sites. Even though I'm not technically directly linking one of my clip store's competitors, I am still promoting their competitors on my website, so that does still break their TOS. So I would never put a link in your videos unless you want it to possibly be removed from all of your clip sites. While you're looking into logos and possible logo designs or fonts that you like, also think about colors. Color theory is huge in advertising. There is so much research put into how different colors make us feel. That's why different major brands choose the colors that they do. I think yellow like makes people hungry. I don't know, I might not be right on these because I have not looked at it in a minute, but there is a lot of research that you can do on this topic, and you will see why some of the larger brands have chosen the colors that they use for their branding. Red is a hot color, it's sensual. It's also a color that I really like on myself. So red is the perfect color for Valentina. Okay, I don't want this video to get too long, so I think I'm gonna have to do a part 2 of this. Let me know if you guys have any questions that you would like me to answer in part 2. I would write all this down. I would create some type of document with your name at the top. Who am I? What do I like? What do I want? What kind of subs do I want? What kind of age range am I looking to attract? What is my ideal client? And from there, we will go into the next video where I'm going to talk about finding your niches, finding sites to post on, and some more platform tips and ongoing like tips for reinventing your brand over time. And I just think that there needs to be more information out there on this niche of the industry, because when I joined there was really no resources and I had to figure out a lot of this for myself. And I would like to save some other women the time and the trouble. Make sure you subscribe and like, comment, interact with it. Do all the things so that this channel keeps growing and I will keep posting more helpful content.